Yeah, time to go. So I have learned a few things. Quite by surprise over the past couple of days. And first thing I just learned here. Okay, very good. It is running then. For a while there, Zwift was confusing me, or not Zwift, Twitch was confusing me, but maybe we're better off now. I have been working with water bodies, mostly in the form of canals and canalized rivers in OpenHistoricMap over the past few weeks or even months. But one thing that had been bugging me for a while was that there are some major water bodies of note that are not showing up in OpenHistoricalMap that are in OpenStreetMap. And it seemed like these are things we really should have. So I started poking around with a stick. I started thinking about how to do it because there was a big water import that was done spastically in OpenStreetMap mostly a few years ago from the National Hydrological Database of the USGS, and the NHD import was kind of a mixed bag. Part of it was that there is stuff that seemed to be out of date. It was kind of an issue, and you would get into situations where you would see developments built and then streams and creeks imported under them that were clearly not there anymore. And it goes to the basic problem with imports of quality control and vetting and trying to make sure that you're not making things worse instead of better. So yesterday I decided, in preparation for importing Lake Champlain and Lake George from NHD data to OpenHistoricMap, because what I decided was not to do any kind of a bulk import because of uncertainties about the NHD data, but that I could do a curated import of specific entities that should not be omitted from OpenHistoricalMap. I decided to do a test run using either the Great Sacandaga Lake, which is right here in the middle, or maybe Saratoga Lake, which is over here where the mouse is slightly down and to the right, with an eye towards moving up, and maybe next week on the live stream doing Lake George, which is up here on the top edge, right side, or even Lake Champlain, which is enormous, and Lake George and Lake Champlain are hugely important during the American Revolution and before in the French and Indian Wars. So, having decided to do a dry run, I started doing some due diligence to make sure I knew what I was doing. I'm going to show you a trick here. I'm going to change street to historical in the URL because OpenStreetMap and OpenHistoricalMap URL formats are similar. And we're going to look at the same place in OpenHistoricalMap. And so what's immediately interesting is that we have some kind of a partial import of waterways going actually all the way back to the beginning of OpenHistoricalMap, but obviously we have nothing rendering for the Great Sacandaga Lake, we have nothing rendering for Saratoga Lake, and we have nothing rendering for Lake George. So this is what led me to assume I was going to have to do a full import, and I will have to do a full import for Lake George and Lake Champlain, and that's for the stream a week from now. But I went in to actually look at what I was proposing to do today and found out that the riverbanks, well, not riverbanks, the shoreline for Great Sacandaga Lake is mostly there. There's one piece missing here. There may be other pieces missing. There's one piece missing here. But it's problematic because it's tagged waterway riverbank, which is wrong for a lake, or in the case of Great Sacandaga Reservoir, it's actually a reservoir. And not only that, but no renderer can look at an isolated open way with the riverbank tagging and make a rational decision about how to tag. So it's like, well, okay, that's why we don't have Great Sacandaga Lake showing up in OpenHistoricalMap. And well, next week what we're going to do is we're going to go through the actual process of retrieving NHD shapefiles and converting them into and bringing them in. What we're going to do today instead is we're just going to go about correcting the Great Sacandaga Lake so that it renders. So that I've got Maxar Premium imagery here. And we can see that the NHD outline is maybe not precise. I'm not going to get too wrapped up in that because honestly, it's a reservoir. It has seasonal issues. We'll bring this in a little bit closer, but we're not going to go ape about real precision here. So we're just going to fill in this missing segment of the shoreline of the lake as it appears on whatever day Maxar took this imagery. The outlet of the dam is on the northeast corner, and we'll talk about that when we get over to that part. It drains into the upper Hudson near Glens Falls. I'm not sure precisely where it goes in, although it's something I can certainly look at on a map, say OpenStreetMap. It was built in the second half of the 1920s, officially completed in 1930. So being that this is OpenHistoricalMap, we're going to construct a relation to contain all of the waterline segments. And we will tag it with the start date of 1930. I do not know at what point they actually started filling the reservoir. It has to have been in the late 20s or, when they declared completion in 1930. But since they declared completion in 1930, we'll just go with that. So, filled in the shoreline. Now we need to build a relation. Right now I'm just basically using shift click in order to add segments of riverbank to the selection. Yeah, crap. So we see where that becomes a problem. So we're just going to say this is enough for an initial cut. So these are all connected. Type is multi-polygon. Lake. I could make it reservoir, but the name is lake right now. Start date 1930. Now all of these things contain waterway riverbank. We're going to delete that because it is no longer of importance. Delete riverbank from there. So the dam is up here. And I want to look at this on the aerial carefully. Okay, so that's some kind of a raceway. And that's the second dam, it looks like. And then we just kind of got these okay, what we'll do for now, we probably want to model this better in the long run, but what we're going to do for now is we're going to make this into a multi-polygon too. The reason we're going to make it as a multi-polygon is that now we're going to partition that, and actually we should delete the tags because they now inherit this from the relation. And waterway equals dam. I'll go back up to so basically we're believing that despite the fact that there is a dam here, there's still all the Great Sacandaga Lake. So add waterway dam there. Bring it up close. So then this goes into the Great Sacandaga Lake. As does this. Note that because of the order in which I've been adding these things, I am using the button to add more elements to the bottom. And that completes an outer way. And delete the riverbank. And now, with any luck, this is going to upload. Okay, no warnings. That's cool. And actually, there's something that I did not do that I should have done. Let's head over here. Wikipedia has an entry on this lake. So and we need to convert this to the correct internal format. I kind of appreciate that there is a desire to do this in a certain way, but it does require us to do a certain amount of editing. So there is Wikipedia. Let's get the Wikidata item. So we want that number that starts with the Q. And I accidentally got a parenthesis on the end of that, but I can fix that. And then wikimedia.com. Of course, it's not .com. Wikimedia.org will probably work better. All right, Wikimedia Commons. So that's what I actually want as commons. There we go. Search. Great Sacandaga Lake. That's a good one. That's the Bachelorville Bridge. Let's get ourselves a link to a decent sized image. We want a link directly to a JPEG. So there is the image link. Now we go back. License is public domain. And there's no caption, so let's add one. And now that we have created a simple, accurate caption, we'll save that. What would be kind of cool, although I'm not sure we're going to find it, would be a picture of the dam. I'm mostly seeing old documents. I think we're going to declare victory now, because this will significantly improve OpenHistoricalMap. So upload. So there's a appropriate set of sources, Maxar Premium Imagery, Wikipedia, Wikimedia Commons. It's a good time to declare victory. And we're just going to bring this to a close today because I got some other stuff going on. But, you know, that was useful. You got something done. OpenHistoricalMap is better. And next week, we're going to segue over this way and look at doing some actual imports from NHD data, which are clearly needed because I'm not going to trace the lakeshore of Lake George and the lakeshore of Lake Champlain. I'm just not doing that. So we'll see you next week.